You know, yesterday there was a news that one of the professors in Symbiosis University in Pune, ashokdhole, he got suspended or he's arrested. Some action has been taken on him. And I searched because of his comment on Hindu deities or Hindu gods and goddesses. And I wanted to know what is it that he said that got such a heavy action from the authorities, or the police got involved, or people are so angry with him. So even though I searched the internet a lot, I only got one small clip at which where he seems to have erred and made the mistake. Now, if you are able to find that clip it and see it, it would be great. But if it's possible, maybe I can put a link in the description box. So, what he essentially said is that if there are so many Hindu gods, and that if you pray to every god, and then when you need something and you will ask for it, no god will show up because there are so many and you're praying to so many, and the gods will not show up thinking that this god will respond or that god will respond or this god will respond, and therefore no god will respond because there are so many Hindu gods and goddesses that you are praying to. And he says verses, when you are praying only to Allah and you just keep praying only to Allah, and when you will call for help to Allah when your boat is sinking or you're going somewhere on a boat or traveling or whatever, when you the hour of need will be there, and when you will say Allah, and only because you're only praying to Allah, Allah will show up. At this point, I will like to give you an introduction of who I am and why you should know who I am, and then the follow up talk of how Dhole is wrong, and Ashok Dhole speaking the way he's speaking takes people away from spirituality. However, I'm also going to speak about how we treat the wrong in the society or somebody who's erred. So, I am a spiritual heavyweight, and I don't pray to any god per se, but I am very spiritual. And as growing up, I've I've been born and raised in a Sikh family, but I always had respect for every other divine and deity. And when I say respect, it doesn't mean that every time I walked by a temple, I started to sing praises of Hindu gods, or every time I walked past a mosque, I started to sing praises of Allah, or likewise, if I passed by a church and started to sing praises of Jesus or Mother Mary. No. The respect means I did not laugh at any god, I did not mock any god, and no matter how absurd someone told me any experience, or strange, not absurd, any strange experience about any divine or deity, I just took it on board. I heard them out. And that's what I mean by respect, that I never had anything to criticize about any divine or deity. So God is one, and now I come to the topic of me being a heavyweight. You know, if you were to watch all my vlogs, you will know spiritually I am the Buddha itself because of my enlightened state. I am the Allah itself, Guru Nanak itself, Lord Vishnu itself, and the Mother Mary itself. So, when now let us come to what Ashokdhole has said and how he erred or made the mistake of saying what he said. So, Ashokdhole says if you pray to so many Hindu deities or gods and goddesses, and when you will need help and you will call out any god or goddess, chances are none of them will show up because they will all think this god will go and help, or this god can go and help, or let this god go and help. And thinking like this, no god or goddess will show up. And he says verses praying to only one divine, and then he takes an example of Allah. He says instead when you're praying to a divine called Allah, then when you're asking for something, Allah knows that this person only prays to me and I should show up to help. This example which he is given is in some way also shown in the movie called Life of Pi. You should check this movie out only for this example. In Life of Pi, there is a scene where a small kid is praying to Hindu deities, is praying to Muslim divine divinity, is also praying to Christianity, and just about every other god he hears about or he wishes to pray to. So the kid's father sees that my son is praying to Hindu God also, to the Muslim God also, to the Christianity also, and just about every other God in different religions. And then the father tells the son that if you pray to so many gods, when you will need help, no God will show up because they will believe the another other god will go to help you, or let maybe some other god will go to help you to whom you pray, and they will possibly pass the buck or hope somebody else will go and help you. And then this boy stops praying to so many gods and starts praying to one god. See, the problem with what Ashok Dhole is saying and what the example is given in the movie Life of Pi are both very, very wrong. The reason for that is they don't understand spirituality and they're treating God or divine one as separate. That if there are 500 different god and goddesses and in Hindu religion, then they are individually going to be responding to your request. That's not how the spirituality works. Why it is important that you understand what I am saying is because of my enlightened state across religions. And there is possibly nobody better who can talk about spirituality than me. And I'm offended when somebody puts in nonsense like this in movie called Life of Pi. And then Ashokdhole also believes that none of the deities will show up if you pray to so many deities. One, please understand, divine is not lazy. So when you pray to, irrespective of 5 gods or 3 gods or all the 100 gods or 200 gods or 1000 gods or to all the gods in across all religion, you are just doing too much work as a human. And spirituality doesn't require too much effort because it doesn't work on your labor and effort. Spirituality responds to your intention. The way to fuel spirituality is to keep your intentions good. There are a lot of ways to fuel or to propel spirituality and the experiences from the divine, and one of them is intention. So when someone says there's no need to pray to so many gods, it's not because the God will not respond. There's no problem with spirituality and God. They're just trying to save you the effort and labor of having to pray to so many divine and deities across religion or within the same religion, of not having to put 3 hours, 5 hours of praying. Save yourself the effort. Because even if you pray with a good heart or say your prayer with the good heart, your request is already heard. And you should know this, that God is one. I have spoken about experiences of where a Hindu man got a visit from Prophet Muhammad. Don't think that just because you're going on praying to one deity or 5 deities or 3 deities, you will only get a visit from those deities. No. You may just get a visit from completely a different deity or a divine. The reason for that is God is one. The boundaries created is in our head, not in spirituality. Divine does not work with the boundaries created by the human. I have spoken about experiences that being a Sikh, I have had the experience of Lord Vishnu descending from the clouds. And it didn't settle at just one divine. I've had a visit from Lord Jesus. I'm very heavily rewarded in an Islamic religion as well. I've had a visit. Being a Sikh, I am heavily rewarded in the Sikh religion where I've got a visit from Gurunanak. Will you tell me that if I ask for something, none of these gods will show up? No. You will be surprised. All of them will show up because God is not lazy. Spirituality, the divine, is not lazy. It is very, very proactive and is working for your good. The problem is when people take examples like this, one, unknowingly, I believe Ashokdhole said whatever unknowingly, he erred. And the reason he erred is he doesn't understand spirituality. He's not a spiritual heavyweight. He probably has never had a very long detailed discussion or understanding about divine or spirituality, and then he makes the mistake of starting to talk about spirituality, and then he lands up in the trouble. The first and foremost is, increasingly I am seeing people who don't have any experience about a certain topic start talking about it as if they know a lot. This is a very grave mistake which Ashokdhole has made, and the example they showed in the movie Life of Pi, where they're saying when you pray to so many gods and divines and divinities, none of them will show up. No, there is no problem with divine and divinity and gods and goddesses. You can pray to as many. And you will be surprised, all of them showed up. But you don't have to pray to so many gods and goddesses, because so much effort and labor is not needed in spirituality. Even if you just say one prayer, or just say, a simple prayer that I wish this world well, or, dear God, have keep your hand of kindness on me, something like this, something very simple also with a good heart, your prayer is already started to travel. And if you keep a good mind, you may just get a visit from any divine or divinity, not just the one you pray to. They will also show up. So, when someone says if you pray to 500 divine and divinities and then you will ask for help, nobody will show up because they will get confused who should go. They don't operate like this. Spirituality does not work like this. You will be surprised, all 500 showed up. And they showed up even before you asked for help. So, my problem is when people don't understand spirituality, they start to say certain things. And if someone were to take it to heart that if I pray to so many gods and goddesses, then nobody will show up, therefore I should stick to one god, you're just creating a certain misunderstanding, or you're taking people away from a certain, belief system. So someone will say, I pray to Shiva, I shouldn't visit the temple of Lord Vishnu, or I shouldn't visit Lord Ganesha. It's because somebody is saying that if you pray to so many divine and deities, then nobody will come to your help. So, one, don't take people away from their belief system. You are free to visit as many temples and churches and pray to as many divine and deities, you know. And when you will need help, every god and divine will show up. That is the truth. So when people start saying these things, it's actually very, very wrong. And I get the anger because unknowingly he's just making or saying something that's hurting people spiritually. And if you were to keep a good heart and pray, you will be surprised. Not just the 500 gods or so many god and goddesses showed up. Even the gods and goddesses you did not pray to will show up. That's how powerful spirituality is. I will take an example here. Once, when I was in school, we had some dance competition. I'm not much of a dancer, but I did participate in some dance competition. It sounds very funny now. And in the dance, not a competition, it was just a dance performance. And we needed a dupatta to go with the dress I had. And my mom had gone visiting my hometown, our hometown. So she had locked my parents had locked the room, and we just had our room. Me and my brothers, we had our room and the drawing room, and the whole house to us. But they had locked their room so that just for the safety reasons. And what happened was all the dupattas, salwar kameez my mom had were also locked there, and I needed a dupatta. What is a dupatta? It's a scarf. So let's just for the sake of ease say that it was a scarf. And I remember when I asked my brother, can you somehow, get a dupatta? And he said it's not possible. Who should I go and ask? Then I asked one of our neighbors if they could lend me a dupatta. They said they will see what they can do. And then I asked another neighbor who was staying below our on the level floor below us, And I said I needed a dupatta and I needed in a certain color. And they said, we don't have it, we will see what we can do. And then in the school, I asked someone, my class, I asked someone if they have this kind of a dupatta or a scarf, and if they could, give it to me for the dance performance. And again, someone said, I will see what I can do, or I don't have it, or something. And then the bus in which I used to travel or come do back and forth in the school to home, I asked one of my friends in the bus that if she could arrange a dupatta of this color, and she said, let me see what I can do. I will check with my mom. So I had asked this maybe 10 days before the dance performance, and nowhere did I get a yes. All I heard was everybody saying, I don't know, I will see, I will check if it can be arranged. And maybe a day before the dance performance, I just thought that maybe I will have to completely take a different dupatta or a scarf for the dance performance, because I had not got a dupatta from anywhere. And you won't believe, a day before, everybody I had asked for the dupatta gave me a dupatta. My brother found out from somewhere, got it from somewhere. Our neighbor gave it to me from somewhere, the color I wanted. The lady I asked, the neighbors I asked who were one floor below us, they also gave me the dupatta in that color. I don't know from where they arranged. The friend I asked in the bus who used to travel and I used to sit with, she also got me the dupatta of the color I wanted. The girl I asked in the class also got. So I had 6, 7 dupattas now, a day or two before the dance performance. And this is how divine is. To say that if you were to ask so many people, nobody will give you, thinking he will give it, she will give it, they will give it, this God will give it. This is not how God works. This is not spirituality. God is not lazy, and it doesn't ignore what you say. Strangely, if you were to be praying and you had a very spiritual and a kind heart, you'll realize every god you asked gave you what you asked, and even the gods you didn't ask will also come and give you something. So every person I had asked for the dupatta who initially said, I will see, I don't have, I don't know if I will find it, they gave me the dupatta. And that is the energy of the divine and the God. Everybody will land up to help you. So to say that don't pray to so many gods, it's wrong. Just save yourself the effort and labor. You don't truly have to pray to so many gods, but everybody will show up. This is how I will just like to correct ashokdhole. That's all. And the last piece I wanted to talk about, how do we treat people who are wrong or err in the society? One, I would request people who don't understand a certain topic to not start talking about that topic. Then you will land up in the trouble you do. But even if somebody makes a mistake, just talk to them and let them go. You can't file FIRs, arrest teachers and professors. You can't gag them for making mistakes. Just tell them to say this publicly, that I stand corrected and this is not what I should have said. That's all. And let him walk. Don't damage and destroy people, because spirituality is also about extreme kindness and letting people just go. Correct them and let them go. So, while Ashok Dhole did make a mistake because he also doesn't understand spirituality, he shouldn't be so heavily be punished for it.